called General Kane. I called a lot of our great people. We have great people. And I said, let's talk. We got a problem in the Middle East. We can take a stop and make a little journey into the Middle East and eliminate a big problem. And Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up. And you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Let's do it, like stopping for, I don't know, margaritas on the way home. It was Donald Trump last week on Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's enthusiasm, quote, let's do it. And it came to going to war in Iran. There's brand new reporting in the Financial Times that makes that an alarming admission by Donald Trump. It raises, frankly, frightening questions about just why Pete Hegseth might have responded that way to Donald Trump, why he was so gung-ho. The New York Times writes that, or the Financial Times writes this, quote, a broker for Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Defense Secretary, attempted to make a big investment in major defense companies in the weeks leading up to the U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran. That's according to 3 people who are familiar with the matter. Pete Hegseth's broker at Morgan Stanley contacted Blackrock in February about making a multi-million-dollar investment in the asset manager's Defense Industrials Active ETF, the people said, shortly before the United States launched military action against Tehran. That inquiry on behalf of the high-profile potential client was flagged internally at Blackrock, according to the people familiar with the matter. The investment discussed by Pete Hegseth's broker did not ultimately go ahead, as the fund, which launched in May last year, was not yet available for Morgan Stanley clients to buy. A Pentagon spokesperson responded to the story on social media, quote, this allegation is entirely false and fabricated. Neither Hegseth nor any of his representatives approached BlackRock about any such investment. Of course, that's not what the reporting says, but okay. It's just the latest, though, piece of reporting in this vein that raises questions about the additional dangers posed by the Trump administration and the ability of members of the cabinet to make financial bets and investments while in office. Here's Senator Alyssa Slotkin on national security implications. Watch.
No one in the government, whether you're a career government person or a political appointee like the president and his kids, anybody, no one should be able to place a bet based on insider information they have on, especially on issues of war and peace. And so what we know from the, I mean, it's just a simple, but just to put it in perspective, you know, you would have people before we went into Venezuela. You had a bunch of people get online anonymously and go onto the prediction markets and say, I bet we're going to have some military action in Venezuela tomorrow, and made a ton of money. Same thing ahead of the Iran war. And these are people we can assume who have insider information that we're launching military operations. Number one, that's insider trading. Number two, it's also a complete operational security risk. If you're the Iranians and you're sitting there and you're like, I noticed there's a bunch of bets coming in for a war tomorrow. It's like, oh, I think we're about to have a war. So I think that it's just a bad thing all around.